Hi, we're Joe and Katie Boyd, and we wanted to share our story with you.
I grew up in a Christian home and always had amazing childhood memories. Things started to change my senior year, and my dad sat us down, our family, and said that he was going to be moving out. It really devastated me. I started to fill with hatred and anger towards my dad and towards God. I really started drinking and going to parties and would really look for guys or anything to fill that emptiness and that void inside. Things changed when I met this guy.
Yeah, things progressed exponentially. In fact, 3 months in, we found out we were actually pregnant with Gavin.
I remember the moment when I found out I was pregnant, and I literally thought my life was over. I immediately had an appointment scheduled to terminate the pregnancy. I wrestled with that decision, and I knew that wasn't his plan, but I wanted to hide from my mistake, and I wanted to take the easy way out. I decided to keep the baby because I knew that no matter what my life was like, God still had a bigger plan, and He would somehow make it okay.
After Katie had decided officially to keep the baby, I remember staring at the ceiling in the dark and literally watching my hopes and dreams for the future fly out the window. As you can imagine, it was tough to carry that load. Our relationship began to deteriorate.
I really started to struggle with the depression and just the shame that came with decisions that I had made, and it was probably one of the loneliest times in my entire life. I wanted to walk out so many times, and I really felt trapped in the life that we had built.
It was at that point when I continued to bang my head against the same wall, just knowing that all I wanted was for her to be happy, and it was the only thing I couldn't do in my world. So I looked for ways to go out and party, to feel some level of significance or fulfillment, something to just escape that confrontation that was staring at me saying, "You're not good enough. You can't do this." While my wife was sitting at home with our son, depressed and looking for her own escape.
We pretty much hit rock bottom.
And we really were looking for that fresh start, away from everything.
We met a couple, and the wife invited me to a women's Bible study. And that morning, I totally felt the Holy Spirit just wanting me to receive prayer. And so I walked up, and I was so broken and so lonely and still dealing with a lot of the hurt and anger that went with the situation with my parents. And she prayed over me, and I knew that it had to be God. He met me right where I was and began to break me free from all the past shame and hurt that I had dealt with. Looking back, I can just see so clearly God's hand on our life. We've been part of the Movement Church for about a year and a half, and it's hard to believe that we're going to celebrate our 10-year anniversary this year. We have another son who is amazing, and we have an amazing marriage. I never would have thought we could have made it this far.
Yeah, it's incredible looking back at it all. I'm just so thankful that God never stopped pursuing us and our relationship and the destiny that He has for us. We're Joe and Katie Boyd, and our story tells His story.